Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Disney Travel Secrets podcast. We're your hosts, Rob and Kerri Stuart, coming to you from the Creating Magic Vacation Studio next to Disney in Windermere, Florida. You're listening to episode number 405, original air date, November 18th, 2024.
And we just got back from another Weekends on the Wish cruise, and we can't wait to tell you how much fun this cruise was.
Okay, we can. And you need to be with us on the next one.
Yes, absolutely. Because the more times that you cruise on the same ship, you really get to know the ship a lot better. And this week, we are going to give you some of our top 10 tips. Actually, not 10. We're just going to give you our top 10.
You can feel free to count.
Our top tips specifically for cruising on the Wish during the holidays.
And some of them will apply to any Disney cruise. Plus, we have a special surprise for a special listener.
Ooh.
Hello, my friends. This is former Disney Imagineer Hugh Darley, and you're listening to Disney Travel Secrets with my friends Rob and Kerri Stuart. As you can imagine, I have plenty of Disney secrets myself, and I can't wait to share them with you. Let's get this show on the road. Take it away, guys.
Welcome to this week's show, and we are smack dab in the middle of holiday season.
And you know what? In coming off the Merrytime cruise, it got me in full holiday mode.
Yes.
I usually like to wait until after Thanksgiving to decorate and get the tree out, but this time we came home, we were up on Monday, and we pulled the trees out and have already started setting them up. Decorating, though, is going to start this weekend.
And you put your Spotify music and Disney Christmas music on in your office.
I know, it was super fun, and I'm really excited to share more about our Merrytime cruise and hopefully give you some ideas.
Also, a huge thank you to everyone who filled out the survey. We're recording this before we do our drawing, but because we had such a huge response, we decided to give away twice the number of prizes.
Yeah, and I was really, really impressed, and we loved your feedback. So many of you filled out the survey. You're definitely going to help us plan more fun things for 2025.
Speaking of fun things, we have something special for one of our listeners.
And if you listen to our show, you know that we love birthdays, and we also love a good surprise. So today, we want to wish one of our listeners' wife a very happy 40th birthday.
But wait, there's more. Stacy, pack your bags. You're leaving tomorrow for a magical trip to Disney World. We hope you are as excited as Brian is. So happy birthday from us.
I know, what a fun surprise. I mean, we are so excited to be a part of making this all come together. So enjoy your trip.
The holiday parties are in full swing. The gingerbread house has been up over at the Grand Floridian since the beginning of November, but the Festival of the Holidays won't start until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so there is a little bit of a delay over at Epcot for the Decor. But party nights are starting to sell out, so don't forget to get your tickets if you want to go. And we are hearing great reviews of the revamped Jollywood night, so I think it's good they made some improvements from last year.
Yes. If you're coming down this holiday season, take a day and go on a self-guided lobby tour. The deluxe resorts always have their own unique trees. You could make it a food and beverage crawl, too.
I know, that would be so fun. Because all of the resorts, though, have their own spin on their trees. Some notable ones to check out, though. Grand Floridian, of course, Yacht and Beach, and Boardwalk. Those are some of my top favorites. And I also think it's a fun thing to do and explore on your arrival or departure day, if you have time.
Yes, and don't forget Disney Springs and their famous tree trail.
Yeah, that one's really fun. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt trying to find all the trees. And in fact, we are going to be checking it out this weekend.
We are?
We are.
Okay. It's been a crazy fall so far, and we're headed to Disneyland in just a few weeks to enjoy the holiday vibe at those parks.
And we are going to be staying in our favorite Disney resort of all of them, the Grand Californian.
Or, you know how we like to abbreviate things? We just call it Grand Cal. This is also the one time I'll go and it's a small world because it has a holiday overlay. I'm not sure why they don't do that in Florida.
I know. It's really cool. But here's a pro tip. If you want all the food guides for the holidays, for the parks, and you want to try those seasonal treats, just look for the guide in the app.
And we are actually happy that this is our last trip until March when we head over to Vienna, Austria for the Asta River Cruise Expo and then sailing on the Ama Waterways ship, the Amalia.
Yeah, and a few of our agents are going to be going with us to learn all about river cruising. And also, our good friend Jen Lee deserves a huge congratulations. She was just named the godmother of a new Ama ship debuting next year, the Ama Sintra.
And that ship will be sailing on the Douro River in Portugal. We have to go on that one with her for sure.
I know, but here's would be a super cool idea is if Adventures by Disney charters the ship and makes it an ABD. So if you're tuning in, just a suggestion, ABD.
As you may know, we have a special partnership with Folds of Honor.
We raise money for them in a few different ways. One thing that we are really excited about, though, is next year we are working on doing a golf tournament at Walt Disney World benefiting Folds of Honor.
I had a great call just a few days ago with their PR director, and we're looking at dates. It'll probably be in the fall. Spring might be too short of a time frame away.
Yeah, and thank you so much for all of you who have ordered shirts or joined our agency as a CMV hero, because we have already raised enough to cover one scholarship for Folds of Honor. Super proud of that.
Being in the travel business with an emphasis on Disney, of course, we definitely pay attention to what goes on with Disney and the Disney news. And we saw a post about Disney's third quarter park attendance being down just the other day.
Yeah, and of course, it was on a Facebook page that gets paid for clicks and advertisers.
And of course, pretty much everybody blamed it on the high prices of tickets, and I don't necessarily agree. Our Disney sales overall were up, not as much as with Disney park trips, but still up.
Yeah, and of course, somebody will always go into the post and say, well, I'm not going to Disney anymore. I'm going to go to Universal instead.
Yeah.
Which in many cases is actually more expensive than Disney. I mean, I was pricing out their Ultimate Express Pass for a client going during spring break of next year. It was $350 per person.
Yes.
And that is on top of the cost of their tickets. That's just crazy. And they haven't even opened Epic yet. So this is pre-Epic. Just crazy.
Prepic.
Prepic, I like that.
I think the reason that Disney's attendance might be down a little is other trips are making a huge post-COVID comeback. It's been 4 years, especially cruises.
Yeah, people really want to have a more all-inclusive experience like cruising or all-inclusive resorts like Sandals and Beaches. And with so many people posting all about their travels on social media, it is opening up possibilities. I mean, lately we've had several clients plan Disneyland Paris and Asia Park trips.
Disney World was only closed for a few months in 2020. And at that point, it was one of the only options for a vacation. So, of course, their attendance was huge.
And Disneyland was closed for well over a year. And they opened up and people flocked back in at that park for sure.
And travel is growing faster than we've ever seen in our 16 years of experience in the industry. And when numbers are low, Disney will put out specials just like all the travel companies do.
Right. And it's going to be Black Friday Palooza over next week in travel. I've already started to see them coming out. And one of the reasons, though, we think their park numbers were down is people are more aware now than ever before of travel options. I mean, the cruise lines can't build the ships fast enough. And one of our mottos is to inspire you, our listener, to experience the world and to have new travel experiences, whether it's at a Disney park or somewhere else in the world.
And if you're a Disney fan, and of course you are, and you love their service, you can definitely visit lots of places all over the world with the addition of Nat Geo Adventures and Lindblad on top of Adventures by Disney.
Yeah, so when you are getting together with your friends and your family over the holidays this season, this would be a fun conversation to have over your meals, is just say, what destination is on your bucket list? That'll be a fun conversation.
And then don't just talk about these trips, take them, and we, of course, can help you out. Before we tell you about the Disney Wish, let's talk about Disney cruises in general.
Yeah, they're building ships as fast as they can. And I will say it is really fun to go into the search engine for Disney Cruise Lines and see 8 ships that are showing up as options. It's so fun.
I just did a search for a client a few days ago, and Disney, when we were in the agent site, defaulted to the Adventure. I'm like, no, don't default to something that's over in Asia. We're probably not going to go there. But here are the originals in the Disney fleet when they launched.
So we start with the Magic, which was 1998. And this was our first ship. We did 3 cruises on here, and it continues to be our favorite and a fan favorite. And those first 3 cruises happened to also be full ship charters with Turner Classic Movies. So we didn't get the full Disney experience on those.
We did not. Next up, the Disney Wonder, 1999, another fan favorite like her sister ship, the Magic. And one reason is that these are the smaller ships. And we really enjoyed our first cruise on this ship in Alaska last year.
And then you have the Dream. This came out in 2011, and it was the first of the larger Disney ships.
In 2012, it was the Fantasy, the sister ship to the Dream, and the only one we have not sailed on.
I know.
Excluding the Treasure, which technically just got here but isn't sailing yet.
Yeah.
And of course, the Wish, which debuted in 2022.
So there was like a 10-year span between these ships coming out. The Treasure is going to be doing 7-night cruises from Port Canaveral, and it's the sister ship to the Wish. Just different stories on board.
And if you don't follow the Disney news like we do, check out their new horn. So what's on the horizon for their next ships? There are 2 ships that will debut next year.
Yeah. And I can't believe that they're coming out. So the Destiny and Adventure come out next year, but don't plan on cruising Adventure unless you plan to go over to Asia, because that's where it's going to be based. And it's interesting, they are highly marketing that ship to guests in that part of the world, India specifically. We got a little info on that.
Yes, we did. But the Destiny will be based in Fort Lauderdale, making it the first new Disney ship to begin sailings from a port other than Port Canaveral, where every previous ship has started.
Now let's talk specifically about the Wish. And as you know, we just got back from our 3rd cruise on the Disney Wish, but our first with the Merrytime sailing, which makes a total of 8 Disney cruises for us. We need 2 more to hit 10, and then we will be platinum.
We're going to tell you why this particular cruise was so special for us. And first, we did not do the typical things that we would normally do on this ship.
Yeah, and like we always say, cruising and traveling in general is always great, but it's even better when you can travel with friends.
So let's say hello to the people that were on this cruise with us, which was one of our weekends on the Wish cruises.
Yeah, our second one that we've done.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so shout out to Margot, who was our trivia master.
Also to Melanie and Steve, who also joined us as agents, Brian and Jessica's parents, Bob and Arnita.
Yeah, so this cruise was very different from a lot that we have done. And we've cruised with Melanie and Steve before, and we also cruised with Brian and Jessica.
Correct. But this time was cool because she brought her parents with her.
Yeah, and then this was our first time cruising with Margot. She is a listener that has become a friend, too, over the years. And so that was really fun to finally get to travel with her because our travel dates never line up.
And she's also one of our neighbors here in our community. So we also saw some of our favorite crew members.
Oh, yeah. You went and stopped in and said hi to Danny at the Watch Store.
At the Watch Store, yeah. And then Paul, someone we originally met on a TCM cruise a decade ago, and he now works on the Wish. He's one of the security people on there.
Yeah, super fun. But it's really fun to get to know a ship so that you kind of have a feel for what to do. So here are a few things that we did not do on this trip.
Go to any of the theater shows, and that's a first, but we have seen them before.
Also, we didn't hang out at the adults-only pool, or any pools for that matter on the ship.
We even skipped the fireworks show again. We've seen it, and we see them all the time here at the Disney parks.
Yeah. We didn't watch a movie this time. I wanted to, but trivia was just so much more fun.
We were bonding over that pretty much every day. And also, we didn't ride the Aqua Mouse. So you might be thinking, well, what did you do? And this trip was really about just spending time with our friends. And we'll be doing a few weekends on the Wish in 2025. And you who are listening to us or watching us should come join us. But we had so much fun on this Merrytime sailing that we were looking at possibly booking the funnel suite next year in November. That is until I looked up how much it is. And we can put all 8 people in there.
No, I think if we split it up, this is a good plan. I'm still all in on it. But yeah, we're going to make that happen because our good friends, Wally and Deb, they stayed in that suite. I think it was last year in 2023. And so, of course, we have total FOMO of that one.
One of the new things we've done, just because we've never been able to get the reservation, was we finally did the Paulo brunch.
Yeah, and the food quality there is so good. And Margot let us in on a secret pizza that you can ask about. It is the Gorgonzola cheese pizza with grapes on it. And it was so good. I'm going to try to replicate that at home. It was that good.
And of course, we also had chicken tenders again. Multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're going to eat at the specialty restaurants like Palo or Enchante, the food on this cruise is, in my opinion, just kind of okay. Hence all the chicken tenders we ate multiple times. But food is very personal to your taste, so don't take our word for it. The rotational dining is always great, and we were super happy at our seats for the Arendelle show this time. We finally got good seats.
I remember on our last cruise, we were back close enough to where they're making drinks. We probably could have chipped in. Sadly, Olaf was on a break, so he didn't make it to the show, but the live violin performance is incredible.
Yeah, so good. Now, during the Merrytime sailings, they do the Christmas tree lighting ceremony on that first day. Don't miss it. It is done twice, though, so everyone has a chance to see it get lit up.
And they still do the Kiss Goodnight in the main atrium, too, so that is still there.
And the ship is all decorated for the holidays, as you can expect. And on the Wish, their color scheme was gold, which was very fitting for the design of that ship. But each ship has its own scheme. And so a client sent me a photo of the Disney Dream Tree, and it was your classic red and green decor with blue bows that matched the carpet. It was so pretty and very different.
Yes. All the characters are dressed in their holiday garb, so you can get some very unique photos.
Yeah, even the cast members had like scarves and stuff. It's kind of fun. And they do have a special holiday deck show, and there are lots of holiday things to see, including their own gingerbread castle.
But why didn't they offer gingerbread anywhere on the ship?
I don't know. That was a question all of our group was like, we got to put it in the comments and see why we don't have that.
We're going to start a petition.
Yeah.
So here are some of our pro tips. Beer and wine on the day you get on board. You can take 2 bottles of wine or champagne per person, or a 6-pack of beer per person, which makes no sense. We have found that they are not that strict on the number of beers. Just don't pack a full-on 12-pack that is still in the carton.
Yeah, you can carry them on. You do have a little mini fridge in your room. Yeah. But then you can restock in Nassau, and it's way cheaper than the drinks on the ship. So Disney Cruise Line is very unique in that they let you bring alcohol back on board, again, beer or wine, and you can take to your stateroom. But I think a 6-pack was about $18.
That sounds about right.
I mean, which is way more.
That's the 12-pack price here in Orlando.
Yeah, but still cheaper than what you are going to be paying on the ship. So we bought a couple drinks for us to bring back, and then we were able to also enjoy those drinks at Castaway Cay.
That was
saved
good.
A lot of money. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Castaway Cay, we got off the ship earlier than ever. It docked, I think we were able to get off at 8:30, and we walked off, 10 minutes to 9. So we got to the island early with no lines to get there at all. And that way you can get to the adult beach before the crowd and grab the perfect spot.
Yeah. Or like we did, we grabbed some chairs at the bar over by Serenity Bay, and we just hung out with friends and had a lunch, and it was perfect. I loved that day. We even saw a rainbow.
Yes. Now, if you are not driving on the day you get off the ship, called Disembarkation Day, save a bottle of wine or champagne for breakfast. We had a very nice champagne toast at the breakfast with our group.
That was super fun. And yes, some of the other guests were quite jealous and wondering how we got champagne. Our server brought us champagne glasses, and so super easy. They're more than happy to help with anything.
And there was no corkage fee. And when we go to Nassau, which we've done, I don't know, a dozen or more times,
yeah,
it's pretty much a liquor run for us, and then we just enjoy the ship when a lot of people are doing their excursions. Now, our next tip, get to the ship the first day about 30 minutes before your scheduled boarding time. Otherwise, you can be in a long line. Much easier if you have a driver like Sam from Fleet Transportation like we did.
And the Wish is only doing 3 or 4 night cruises, so pack accordingly. We don't check bags on these cruises at the porter. Really, we try not to check bags ever, but a carry-on and a backpack for each of us. And then what's the sad day, which is the last one, you just walk right off with your luggage. You don't have to wait for it.
Another tip is make sure your Disney Cruise Line app is up to date, and then put your cell phone in airplane mode and connect to the Disney guest Wi-Fi. You can also connect with other guests on the app. We also noticed that you could still text anyone with an iPhone, and we didn't even purchase Wi-Fi.
Yeah, for such a short weekend, I was like, why bother? We're on vacation. Now, the doors to your cabin are metal, so feel free to decorate it with magnets, and a lot of people do this. As a matter of fact, DVC members, they put a magnet on the door for you.
But since it is a Merrytime sailing, a lot of people will go all out on their door decorations. So come prepared for a lot of holiday decor in the hallways.
Yeah, we saw people that had Christmas lights on their doors.
On a door.
Full on stockings. Tons of course, magnetic door decorations. And there was this one that was like a little ship that had lighting, like backlighting.
I took a picture of that.
People are so creative, so have fun with it.
Speaking of being holiday ready, wear your holiday gear and your ears. We saw families dressed to the nines in their holiday best, probably thinking this is our Christmas card photo.
Absolutely. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we saw a lot of people in their Christmas jammies, especially at the breakfast buffet in the mornings.
That was funny.
And then also later in the evenings. Yeah, that was hilarious. People were boarding the ship and they had their holiday t-shirts on. They were dressed like they were going to a holiday party.
Their ugly Christmas sweaters.
Which they were. Now, here's something. Is Rob and I were thinking, you know what? We're going to buy some very Merrytime holiday shirts when we're on board. No.
They did not have those.
They didn't have anything that was cute. So I'm just stuck with my tank top I got from another Disney Wish cruise. But definitely pack your holiday clothes. I did feel like I missed the mark for us in packing anything holiday-esque.
We're not used to the holiday cruises.
I didn't know everybody was going to go so full on.
But now you do.
Yeah, but now you do. So don't make the mistake that we did.
For the best view of fireworks on Pirate Night, and yes, even though it is a Merrytime sailing, there will be fireworks. Position yourself along the starboard side of the ship rather than in the crowded areas on deck.
And also on the Wish, make sure you visit the Hero Zone. So the Hero Zone is on the Wish, and it is what they characterize as a futuristic sports arena. And it's on deck 12 all the way at the back, and this is where you can see the Incredigames.
We went there the first day, and they had the Incredigames set up. It's basically a giant blow-up obstacle course that you can have two people kind of racing at the same time, and we would have tried it because it is for all ages. You just have to be at least 40 inches tall.
Yeah, but the main reason we didn't is that you were afraid I was going to win.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
That was it. That was it.
But you had to be wearing socks, and we were just wearing our flip-flops, so we didn't want to go back and grab socks.
There's also foosball and air hockey, which, of course, I dominated.
Baby.
And after we met our friend and crew member Paul, he showed us a secret door that goes to that area.
Yeah. Now, the obstacle course was gone, though, the second time we went in there, and I think there were maybe 2 basketball courts in its place, but there were a bunch of people playing basketball.
I didn't expect that, so much so that I thought it was a different place at first. And if you want to visit the Hero Zone, check the daily program for days it'll be open with the Incredigames. Teens will love this place, plus it's right next to the Teen Club Lounge.
Yeah, it's right next to Vibe. So here is a top tip, though, that most people don't think about on their cruise, and that is stay hydrated. There is so much to do, to eat and drink, that you may forget to drink your water. And here's what's really cool. On a Disney ship, you can bring your water bottle, a refillable one, and just refill it on that main pool deck.
And this is our last tip. No, we weren't counting. If you have been on other Disney cruises, try the Wish and try to do something different.
Yeah, so we've done trivia before, but usually maybe just like once or twice. This time...
And we don't win.
And we don't win. This time I think we went 6 or 7 times, and it was so much fun with friends. We made teams, and we were even winners. So now we have a new challenge to win all the different medals. You may have seen them behind us if you were watching us on YouTube.
Also, last time we did a whiskey beverage tasting. They have wine tasting. They have beer tasting. So a lot to do on
Lots to do, and we always do the ship tour. It's only about 45 minutes, but the spots fill up. I like doing it over and over because the cast member that does it kind of customizes it to the things that they like.
So they get you one of those little, they call them whisper machines?
Yeah, like
box whisper things, with whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And so the cast member will be narrating to you as you see all these different things. And this is, I think, the second time we've done this.
This is the third time we've done this. Yep.
We learn something new every time. The best part, it's free.
Yeah, and here's another little pro tip, is sign up for it as soon as you connect to the Disney Guest Wi-Fi while you are waiting in port. As soon as you can get that connection, go in and grab it, because these groups are pretty small. They're probably maybe just 20.
That sounds about right. Well, I also want to give a huge shout out to Jay from the entertainment team. He was a highlight. He was the one doing some of the trivias. And if you're lucky to have him on your cruise, definitely go to his games. We hope you got at least a few ideas from this week's show, and we'd love to see you on a future Disney cruise.
Yeah, for sure. I really hope we get Jay again. He was so much fun. If you want to take a longer cruise, the Disney Treasure is now at its home port in Port Canaveral, and we just missed it coming in, but it will start sailing on the 21st of December. And of course, if you'd like to join us on our next Weekends on the Wish, head on over to weekendsonthewish.com and fill out the interest form. We'll keep you up to date.
Well, and also, let's not forget about our Adventures by Disney Southern California trip, which is September 28th of 2025. We do have a limited number of spots, and some are already gone.
Yeah, and here's a couple highlights. Oogie Boogie Bash is included, and the big one, a visit to Walt's office. So cool.
This is a special add-on we negotiated, so come join us. It is adults only, but if we get a bunch of families, we may consider a second date for that group.
Yeah, we might, if the demand is there. Thanks again for listening or watching, and if we can help you with your vacation, just reach out to us or one of our Creating Magic Vacations travel advisors. And for us, just go to creatingmagicvacations.com, click on Plan a Vacation, and we will also put links in the show description as well.
Also, remember this, when you do fill out a vacation request, you're going to get a phone call from me, and it's a 727 area code, so keep that in mind. Until next time, have a magical day.
We hope to see you real soon.